Golden Knights having great success so far this year. Does that put any pressure on you guys to succeed in this
Who are the
year?
Golden Knights? No, only pressure is that the sniping of people saying you got to do as good as them.
It's just good. Vegas is treating us well, and I think the record doesn't show how hard that we work, and it's tough in that way, but it's good for us in the inner circle to understand what we have going on in Vegas, and if we just continue to trust and believe in each other, the sky's the limit for this team, and I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Our expectations maybe at the start of the season were a little unrealistic.
Man, we're not even worrying about the playoffs right now. What we do is we take it week by week. We gotta worry about next week. You start looking ahead and you start looking over people, you might not even make it. So.
That being said, to me, Urban Meyer is one of the lowest pieces of garbage there is on this earth.
You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports, live on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network.
That's right, Wednesday night, just past 4 p.m. here on the West Coast, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. You are tuned in to Straight Bet Sports, live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Jose V, no EMB today so far. Quan 59 in the studio, doing what we do every single week now. Not being funny, I know this isn't the right way to start the show, but haven't spoken to Ian. I hope he's okay. If anyone's heard from him or spoken to him today, please let us know that he's good. Normally we have him set up. He's here with us before the show starts. We have everything going, but I haven't been able to speak to him today, man. So Ian, if you're out there, man, hit me up. If you're late, you fell asleep, I get it. Like Quan said, your schedule is a bit wacky because of the way you work late. So hopefully you just knocked out and you're tired, man. I hope all is well, but we will definitely talk to Ian soon. But once again, man, drop that comment, drop that like, press that share button, and we'll go from there. Let everyone know what it is that you are tuned into today. We are live on all Gorilla Cross radio platforms, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, GorillaCross.com, and, of course, the Gorilla Cross app. If you want to give us a call today, the phone number is 702-608-3259, as it is every single Wednesday here on Gorilla Cross Radio. Now, I had a bunch of topics and things that we were going to talk about today, but again, Ian's not here, but we do have a guest. We have a return guest making his fourth appearance on the show today. He was on the show originally with me back in my KSHP days when I had the Sudden Death Sports Show on KSHP 1400 AM. He's been on the show twice here before on Gorilla Cross with us. An amazing young man, an amazing human being, and one of the most amazing athletes that I've seen in a while when it comes to the sport of baseball. He is none other than Kamdyn Perry, right-handed pitcher, if I have that correct, out of Bishop Gorman. 17 years old. He was 14 when I met him. This kid is growing inch by inch every single day. My guy, how's it going? How you been? How's everything?
Every day, going to play baseball, go to school, everything's going, so it's going pretty good right now.
How excited are you with life, man? I mean, the baseball scene for you has grown a lot more, just like you're growing. You're almost,
Yeah.
what, 6'4" now?
Yeah.
When I met you, you were below 5 feet, but still stretching. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, below 6 feet, excuse me, but still stretching out. How much has your life changed since the first time that we've had you on the show, would you say?
I'd say pretty dramatically. I mean, I think I was probably just going into high school at the time when we first met, and now I'm a senior in high school. So it's everything's changing. It's going by quick, it feels like, but it's for the better. So.
How much are you enjoying still being able to play baseball, and not only that, play it at a high level where there's a lot of eyes on you and people are expecting a lot from you as well? Does that cause you to have pressure, or to you is it just, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying this, but you want to make sure you're great at your craft?
I think, I love it. I've always been around it. Probably, I've been around it since I was younger. So really when I get to that moment where there's a bunch of people looking at me, fans, scouts, just people there to see me, I really enjoy it. I love the feeling of it. And, I like being in that position. So it's really nice to me.
So I've seen you as a hitter when I first met you. Now I see you as a pitcher. And I told you before the show, I was up late last night watching a bunch of your videos since you started pitching, right? Mm-hmm. And seeing the growth of pitching. But one thing that I did notice from you is your body language. You are literally ice cold when you're out there. Like, I don't see you smiling or like your face is always the same. But you are so composed, and just your eyes and the way that you're looking at your catcher and the way that you pitch the ball is just amazing for someone at your age and how much you've grown since you started pitching. Now, my thing that I've noticed, obviously, with a lot of great pitchers and catcher combinations, you have Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina recently, getting that record, being together for so long. When you're out there pitching, as you have been throughout these years, do you have a favorite catcher that you've already gotten used to? Or is it just you got to get used to a catcher because you're in so many different tournaments and different things aside from pitching in high school?
Well, when I was younger, I played with Roland Driscoll. He was one of my favorite catchers growing up. We played together for a couple, years. And once we hit high school, we had to stop. So I'd say, I like to expand and, get to know catchers. But I don't have a, certain choice of a catcher right now. They're all going to be different since I'm playing tournaments. I'm in high school, so it's all going to be different. So you got to learn, and it's good for the future to have different catchers, have different people around you.
And the fact that you're always having different catchers, right? Because like I said, not only do you pitch in high school, I talk to your dad all the time. You guys are in Florida, you're in Texas, you're all over the place going to different types of tournaments. Is there some type of pregame ritual that you do with your catchers on games that you know you're going to catch, maybe with a guy that hasn't caught for you before?
No. I'd say, like, we go over, like, signs and stuff, and, like, what I would, like, if I have a runner on second base, like, if he gives me four signs, I'd be like, hey, I want the second sign. And we just go over simple stuff. We don't have anything, like, out of the ordinary that we do. Just talk, get to know each other more if we don't know each other. But I like to, 30 minutes to an hour before the game starts, I really like to hang with my catcher, just build a bond between them. And I kind of just like depart from my team and just hang out with my catcher for a bit till I start playing catch. And I just like to get to know them if I don't know them already, and just be around them before the game so we build up a little bond.
Once again, you're tuning to Straight Bet Sports live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Jose V, Quan59 up in the studio, hanging out with Las Vegas baseball phenom Bishop Gorman's own Kamdyn Perry here in the studio. Like I said, fourth time around that we've had the young man in studio chopping it up with us. Actually, one time it wasn't in studio. You were actually out of town. You had just gotten back. It was the night after Game 4 of the 2020 World Series. You and your dad were in attendance with a friend of yours, I believe, at the Globe Life Field, right, in Texas, I believe it was. One of the greatest games that when it comes to the World Series that I think anyone has ever seen. I mean, it was just amazing. You and your dad were just talking about it right now, the errors, the way that the game ended. Exciting game to be at, right? But talk about being able to turn around, right, and go right back to that same field. You got to pitch and play there in the Powerhouse Showcase right after that World Series game. Talk a little bit about that, because you went out there and showed out. 3 innings, 8 Ks. That's pretty significant for someone your age to go out there. Was it something fueling you from being there the previous night or whatever it was? And how was that experience for you?
I just think, I was there, so I felt like I already knew the field, and I mean, I've played on the big fields like that before, so it was nothing different for me. So I went out there and did my usual warm-up, talked to my catcher, did everything I usually do, and I just treated it like it was another game.
Gotcha. So we do have a question from Facebook. We have a question from our guy, Christian Wynn, local Las Vegas sports person here. He says, interested in knowing who did you grow up admiring in baseball, and who do you model your game after?
I say I grew up admiring Nolan Ryan.
Okay.
He's a big pitcher, obviously. Lots of strikeouts. He's just a guy that everyone knows, and I kind of want to be that guy that everyone knows.
Okay.
But as of right now, I really, it's not a pitcher, but I still look up to Mike Trout.
Okay.
He's just, again, he's a guy everyone knows. He's the face of baseball. He's loved by everyone. I mean, he has his injuries, but he gets through them, gets back in the field, and he just does what he does,
You mentioned the guy in Mike Trout that plays with the Angels and has a teammate in Shohei Ohtani. Now, you were a great hitter prior to you becoming this great pitcher that you are now. When I met you, you were hitting the ball. You were at the Powerhouse Showcase hitting home runs in major league fields, what I mean, major league stadiums. Now, with the way the game has gone, you see guys like Shohei that can hit, that can also pitch. But then you also see guys in the past like Rick Ankiel that were pitchers that went out to the field that did different things because they had the arm but didn't have the control quite possibly to be a full-time pitcher. Now, with you being so good at pitching right now, granted, we're not talking the majors yet. You're only 17.
Yeah.
Obviously, we hope that that's the goal for your future after school, college, whatever it may be. But do you see yourself possibly playing another position like in the future if pitching doesn't end up being your forte? Do you think that you'll get away from the hitting, or is it pitching and all, nothing else?
I think the way it's heading right now, it's just going to be pitching. I mean, when we have practices, I like to, go on the field, take ground balls. If we're lucky, we get to hit BP. And usually I still hit some home runs when we hit BP.
Okay.
So if it ever came down to it and a coach was like, hey, you want to hit? Obviously, I'm going to say yeah. I'll go hit, and if it goes good, then it goes good. I'll be a hitter. But as of right now, everything's looking just be a pitcher.
So we're not looking at the next Shohei?
No, I wish. That'd be cool.
What do you think about his game, though? You being a fan, and not only a fan, but someone that actually plays this game at a high level. When you watch him play and the things that you've seen him do since he's been in the league, do you try to take anything from it? And how do you see him as a player?
I see him as, I don't want to say another player, but he is just another player. To most people, he's one of the best right now. And for me, what I take from is his mindset. I mean, he goes out there and he knows who he is. He knows what he can do. You hear everyone in the background, overrated, whatever it is, because, that's just how people are. But I really like his mindset. He goes out there. If he's pitching, he's going to do his best no matter what. If he gives up a couple runs, he's coming back the next inning and striking out the side. If he strikes out 2-3 times in a game, next game he's going to hit a home run, hit a double. He's going to do whatever it takes to get back on top and show who he really is.
You talk about staying focused, and that's something that Shohei has shown in his career, obviously, to do to this day and how great he has been. Now, when you're out there pitching, right, whether it's a right-handed batter or a left-handed batter, is there anywhere you normally like to locate certain pitches or just pitches in general, or it doesn't matter at all to you? It's just up to it and depends what happens at that point?
I think it kind of depends on the hitter and who I'm facing. Like if I have a big lefty, he's going to look for a fastball, so I might throw a changeup, maybe a curveball. Or if I have a righty that likes to hit singles, I'm going to throw some fastballs up at him, and he's going to be late. And then I really like my slider outside because it gets people chasing. I just developed that pitch just this last year, and I wasn't like a big, I'd get people out and a couple strikeouts now and then, and I didn't have like as many strikeouts as I do ever since I had my slider. So I think that's a big part of my game right now too. So the slider's been pretty big for me with any hitter. I could throw it to anyone. So.
And the reason I asked that, and I wanted to get your comment on that, is because watching the tape that I saw last night, when you have right-handed batters up there, you love low and away. It's what I've noticed. And that's like a pitch that you're getting people to catch. Sometimes you'll have that occasional batter that they'll stay away from it, but you're getting guys to swing at that pitch. And not only that, your dad mentioned it to me, and I'm like, no way. So I go and look it up for myself. You're making guys break bats.
Yeah.
I mean, you're throwing, what, 90? Is that in your
low
fastball?
90s.
90, 91? I mean,
Yeah.
for a 17-year-old, no disrespect, kid, because you're still a kid, you're a young man, that's pretty awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Like, for you to be able to say you can throw that heat and not be like all, cocky about it, but how does it feel to know you're someone that can throw that fast at your age?
I mean, it's really, I guess for me, it's kind of normal since, it's just what I've been doing. But it's almost, you can't really just have, just a really fast fastball, because there's going to be kids that can only hit fastball. So you got to be, someone that can throw everything. So, I mean, I have 4 pitches. I got a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. You just have to know how to throw everything. And because there's going to be guys that, are going to expect your fastball. They see fastballs every day. They're going to know how to hit a 93 mile per hour fastball. So you got to hit them with a slider every now and then, and, fastballs up and in, and you just got to catch them where they're not going to expect it.
See, and the way you even talk about it, just knowing that not anyone can get beat with a fastball. You know what I mean? There's some guys that have great contact and they're power hitters that'll connect, and they'll hit those home runs on those fastballs. So it's great knowing that you already know the philosophy of it. You know the smarts of knowing, well, this guy likes this guy likes that. Now, are there guys that you've, aside from high school, because I know high school you play against these guys, you know who some of these guys are, scouting reports, all that. Do you get these same type of scouting reports when you're on the road pitching in these type of classics and tournaments that aren't with high school to know who some of these guys are?
No, I don't know who everyone is. I mean, in Nevada, I pretty much know almost everyone that plays baseball up in my age group. But if I'm going out to Florida and, I'm play a different team, I'm not going to know who everyone is. There's going to be guys that I do know because they're going to be some top-ranked guys that I play. But there's going to be some people that you don't know, and they're gonna try and make a name for themselves, and you just gotta do what you can to, prevent. I mean, you don't want to prevent them from making a name for themselves, but you gotta do what's best for you and get your name out there. So you just gotta do what you can.
So Pop showed up with the Dodger gear, the Clayton Kershaw jersey.
Yep.
You got to pitch for the Dodger scout team.
Yep.
Can you talk about that experience, and did you get anything from the coaches or anything was said to you that you took back with you?
I really like this team. We're a pretty good team. I think we have a chance for this weekend to win a tournament. And we go play CSN. We go play teams like the Colorado Rockies scout team. And they come back after I pitch or after other people pitch or, hit or whatever. They come in, tell you like what you did right, what you could do better. So they're a good staff. They know what they're talking about. They know what they want from you. They know a lot, and they're gonna be there to help you no matter what. So they're pretty good staff.
You knowing that you're great at what you do, right? Because you have eyes on you all the time now. You know what I mean? You've been doing shows for the last 4 or 5 years now. You know what I mean? Coming on different shows, you can tell your demeanor how much has changed, how you're okay being in front of the mic now. When you're at school, and then when you're also on the road doing these tournaments, right? And you're getting this criticism, this feedback. It's like a person working a 9-to-5 job and their manager pulling them aside, right? Yeah. How do you take it positively, even though you might hear something that you don't like?
If I don't hear something I don't like, then I kind of, I'll listen to them. I'll say I won't say anything. I'll listen and I'll understand it. I'll know what they're trying to say, but I'm not going to, take anything and put it down on myself. I know what I can do, and I've proven it, and I'm gonna keep proving it. And I just don't like to take anything completely negative and just shove it down my throat. I want to be able to understand what they're trying to say, and maybe try and fix it, because maybe they are right. Maybe I can fix something, but I won't cave in, and I won't be like that.
So would you say that the fact that you've been that way has helped you get better and helped you get to the point that you're at now? Obviously, I know your family, your dad, your mom, they've been biggest support before anybody else. I get that. But knowing that you have these guys that are on the professional level already that are telling you these things, it's kind of hard to get upset at anything they tell you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my parents, they're always there to help me. They got something to say, I'm going to listen, because, they're more wise than me. They're older than me. They've been through more than me. So I'll always be up to listen to them. But At the end of the day, they're there to help you. So you just got to take that in and, understand them.
So next step, St. Mary's, right? That's where we're committed at right now from everything that we've seen, that we've heard. It's great that you're continuing your baseball career after high school. You know what I mean? But the ultimate goal after school is all said and done, right? Has to be the pros eventually. Now, what are we looking at when it comes to the pros? Like, because I don't know the way the draft works. I'm pretty sure you follow the draft in previous years because you're so into the baseball part of it. Is there anything that you have to look at when it comes to the draft when you're ready and that time does come for you? Or is it just when you want to jump in, you'll jump in?
I think you'll know when you know. You gotta. It's pretty mental when you get up to that spot. You gotta be ready for it because it's gonna be a big change for you, and you just have to know what you're gonna be capable of, and you have to understand, that everything's gonna get 10 times harder. So you just gotta be ready for it, and if you think you're ready for it, then you should just go for it.
And with there being so many great prominent baseball programs out there, right, in college baseball, what was it about St. Mary's that for you was like, I want to sign here?
Oh, well,
I'm sorry, commit here.
Yeah.
Get that right.
They have a really good staff there. I mean, I talk to them on a daily basis. They always check in on me. They're pretty good about keeping people healthy. They're really nice. They're really cool, and I really understand them and like to talk to them. And I just appreciate what they have for me and what they're giving me. And they're just a really cool set of people that, I'd like to be around,
Once again, Jose V, Quan59. We are in the studio with Kamdyn Perry of Bishop Gorman. You are tuning to Straight Bet Sports live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Once again, man, if you guys want to share the live feed, please click that like, drop a comment, press that share, and we'll go from there. Let everyone know what it is that you're watching today. But Kamdyn, I wanted to ask you some Major League Baseball related questions because obviously you're a baseball guy. But the big talk right now is Aaron Judge. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm a huge Yankee fan. I'm scared because I think that Aaron Judge has an opportunity to leave next year because we might not pay him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about that because that's here nor there, right? We're fighting right now. We've won the division. But the big talk is, are we seeing too much of him everywhere, right? Because every time he's about to step up to the plate to try to get 61, there's the live look-in, right? Over the weekend on Saturday for college football, the live look-in. Oh, Aaron Judge is up. Let's put it on. Some people say it's a little bit too much. I don't think it is because he's trying to break a Yankees record, if you think about it. Not only an American League record, right? But a Yankee record because a Yankee did this in Roger Maris, hitting 61. But now, quietly, he's crept up and taken over the Triple Crown. Home runs, RBIs, batting average, right?
Yep.
The batting average one is tight because he's tight right there with Xander Bogaerts of the Red Sox. But the fact that he keeps getting walked, not necessarily striking out or grounding out or any of that, is helping his batting average, right? He's been walked so many times these last few games. Now, the question that's been thrown to me, and I want to get your opinion, do you think now is probably better for him to just focus on playing and continuing that Triple Crown run since they got the division locked up? Or should we still try for that 61? What's more important, do you think?
I think, to be honest, the Triple Crown it's going to be worth more. Yeah, record's cool, but if you're focusing on average, trying to get on base, the home run will come, and it's going to be there. But if it doesn't happen, who cares? You got another year. Do it again. I know it's hard to say, but do it again. It show who you are. But I think the Triple Crown is really important. That's just a big accomplishment for him. So,
and then him hitting a lot of home runs this year, right?
Yeah.
Let's have that conversation because obviously times have changed. I know it's not like that in schools anymore. But when I was growing up, there was a lot of bad stuff going in high schools, when you were playing sports. But a lot of people talk about, is he clean? Is he not? You as a fan of watching what he's doing this year, right? Being on a tear, does that ever cross your mind? Like, I wonder if this guy's juiced or it's just, this guy's clean all the way.
I've never really thought about that. I mean, he's a big, tall dude. I mean, he's bound to hit home runs. He's bound to hit the ball hard. I mean, it's baseball. You gotta be able to hit the ball. There's a lot of talk about that. I understand it, but I mean, you just gotta watch the game. I mean, just let the game happen. If he is, then that sucks. But you just gotta watch the game and love the game. It's there to play, and I think it's just really cool what's happening right now. So you just gotta love that.
So 2-part question. You talk about watching the game, right? When you're watching games, whether it's live or on television, do you do either of these two? Do you watch the pitcher and see what he's pitching and how he's pitching and what you would have done better? Or do you watch the hitter to see how he hits, what he's chasing, what he's going after, and then come up with whatever your own pitch type of count would be for that at bat? Do you ever do that when you're watching these games?
I kind of do both. I look at the pitcher, and some pitchers are better than others, and I look at what if they throw a slider, if it could have been a better pitch. You just got to understand who you're throwing to. Some guys are bigger than others, and I think they understand that. Everyone makes mistakes with their pitches, but I look at hitters too, and I see, I look at what they're trying to hit, what they're trying to go for, and it's just a both thing.
Now, another hitter that's doing a lot this year and final year, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've been following it as well, Albert Pujols, what he's doing, finally got number 700.
Yep.
Evan, our guy, our photographer, he was going to go to California to watch the game. He ended up going after he already hit 700. But your thoughts on Albert? I mean, you've seen his career. I mean, you've seen most of it, obviously not all of it because you're only 17. He's been playing longer than you've been, alive. But from what you've seen and being a fan of the sport, how fun is it to watch him and what he's done? And do you take anything from his playing career at all?
I mean, it's just crazy. He comes back every single year, and somehow he just keeps getting better and better. I mean, it's clear that he's old. He's retiring after this year, and he wanted that 700, and he got it. It just shows that you can put your mind to something, and eventually you can get there.
Who do you think wins the World Series this year?
That's a good question.
He's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, Dodgers are known for, getting there and just losing.
Come on now.
I think Dodgers have a pretty good chance again this year. I mean, they got the staff, they got the hitting, they got everything. So if they keep rolling like how they have been, they should strongly win it this year.
So you were at the COVID championship.
Mm-hmm.
You said the Dodgers always get there and they lose.
Yep.
Let's say they get there this year, regular season all the way.
Yep.
Yankees were the best hot team first half of the season. Dodgers quietly kept going, crept back, took over, became the best team record-wise, and the best team on the field, the way they're playing, right? If they win it this year, does that give more validation to the COVID championship, you think? Or to you, it's still a championship?
I think it does. I mean, a championship is a championship. No one should, no one should talk down to it. Because, if their team would have won, they would have been defending it too.
Yep.
So,
once again, Jose V. We got Jay Madrazo's in the studio. Somebody showed
sir.
up to take the lead since Ian's not here again. Not being funny. We hope that Ian's good. Look at the camera, bro. Come on. Right there you go. Attaboy. Now you got to grab the mic and move it over.
Yeah, we're in here.
But yeah, we got Kamdyn Perry, man, once again in here. We got his dad in the background too. Pops don't like being on mic or on the camera. He just chills. He's in the background, hanging out, having a good time, man. But big shout out to Keith as well, man, and to your whole family because they've done an amazing job with you, man. And we appreciate the fact that you've always given us the time of day since day one. Your pops has always been cool with it. You've always been straightforward with it. Once again, jumping with us and never saying no. And it's always good to see you grow, man. Like, I'll be honest with you, and I've had these conversations with your dad. I can't wait to see you in the pros because it's not, is it going to happen? It's a matter of time.
Yep.
That's how I see it. If I'm being honest with you, not trying to throw any more pressure on you or act like, oh, you really got to succeed. But I think it's just a matter of time before you're up there. You know what I mean? Like, I've watched enough sports, I've watched enough baseball to know that you are the next big thing. If I'm being honest, not to blow smoke up, you know what, but you are the next big thing when it comes out of Las Vegas. Now, the conversations that I've had with people that are baseball heads here in Las Vegas, everything that I hear is, this guy's the next Bryce. This guy's the next Bryson. This guy's the next Chris Bryant. You know what I mean? That type of talent to come out of Las Vegas. When you hear that type of conversation, when you hear those type of names, how does that make you feel?
it just makes me feel like I want to be one of those names, I want to be that person that everyone's like, oh, he's going to be the next Kamdyn Perry. You know what I mean?
So, see, I love that you say that because I'm always the guy that says we got to stop saying someone's the next this, and that, right? Mm-hmm. So you're basically saying I want people to know who I am And I want them to say they want to be the next me, regardless of who came before me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome. And the fact that these guys are all hitters and you're coming out as a pitcher,
Yep.
that shows a lot.
Yeah.
That shows your growth. That shows your game and what you can do. How much fun are you having at Bishop Gorman this year, man? Let's be honest.
It's really fun. I love the kids there. I mean, they're all cool. We're all cool. We're all friends. We all hang out. They're all pretty chill. I mean, we all play different tournaments with each other outside of Gorman. So we're one big family, and I think we got a pretty big chance this year to win it all.
So what's your guys' record right now so far this year?
We haven't started season.
Oh, I
yet.
thought you guys already started. I'm sorry. But you're doing the tournaments.
Yeah.
That's what it is with the Scout League.
Mhm.
How does that work?
So it's not Gorman. It's a different team. But it's just kids from Nevada coming together on one team, going to play tournaments, games. They're all cool kids. I know them all. It's just like another family. I mean, you get taken in, and you all got to learn to love each other, whether you don't or not. You have to have each other's backs, and it's really fun. I like playing with them. They're a good team. I like winning, so when we keep winning, it makes it even better.
And rankings, man, you're ranked up there.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the newspaper, you look at high school stats, you look at pitching, you look at your name, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
How does that make you feel when you see those things, man?
I kind of just like, I really don't look at those. I mean, yeah, it's cool saying, oh, you're this or this, or yeah, you could be this or this, but I disregard that. It's nothing you should worry about, because if you're lower, that just means you got something to prove, and if you're higher, that means you still got something to prove. So it's all the same thing. Rankings shouldn't really matter the way people try and make them look, but they're nice. They're nice it shows how accomplished you've been. But I disregard those, because anything can happen. Kids can come up from the bottom. Next thing you know, you got a new number one. Like Jack Gilliam, he's number one this year. He wasn't last year. He wasn't the year before. He came up, and now he's number one in Nevada for hitting. And so it's just crazy. I mean, you can be from the bottom and just come from the top. So you just gotta disregard those and play your own game.
Any pressure from the family? And I mean that respectfully. I don't mean that your dad's on you or anything like that, but knowing that your dad loves baseball and seeing how much he supports you and he's always there, you know what I mean? It's easy to say, well, maybe his dad's pushing him a little bit too hard, but at the end of the day, is it just you going out there and just trying to be your best no matter what?
Yeah, I'll listen to them. If they got something to say, I'll listen and I'll try and understand, but I'm just going to go out there and play my game, because what I've been doing for the past how many years, I'm just going to go out there and do what I can do.
Personal life, real quick. You're a high school kid. You're a senior, and you're playing a lot of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You travel a lot. You guys go out of town all the time. So I know life can be probably tough at times, right? Very busy. Not a lot of time to do social things, right? Is there any dating involved for you right now?
Yeah, I got a girlfriend. We've been
Okay.
dating for about a year.
Okay.
She's in college right now at Boise State University.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah. Ooh, college girl, Boise State. Okay. Now, how has that been for you? Because I was an athlete in high school. I wasn't great or anything like that, but I played a bit. But playing sports and having a relationship can be hard sometimes. I mean, you see it even in the pros, right? People's personal relationships get thrown out there. How do you separate the two?
She understands. She knows like everything that's happening, so she's pretty cool about it. If I need to, be gone for a while, she understands. She's in college. She can do her own thing. But it's been pretty good so far. It's not been too bad at all. We talk all the time. But it's nothing that's really bothered me so far. If something were to happen, I'll deal with it later. I'll go play my game. I'll do what I need to do, but I won't let it bother me.
That's like they say when you go to work, leave your problems at the door. When you go to school, leave your problems at the door. Come in, come fresh, don't worry about it, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. But
I
so you got some, go
I have
for
a
it.
quick question. So now that you're at another like elite level, meaning like club wise and even high school wise, what are you doing to prepare yourself to get to the next level and for this next upcoming season?
Well, right now I'm just focused on this elite team, the scout team, and I'm gonna focus on these tournaments coming up in high school ball, and I gotta focus on where I need to be for the future, and I'll be doing I do throwing drills. I go to work out every day, so it's just about preparing for the future, and it's all starts with now. You can't only be worried about the future. You gotta be worried about right now and what I can get done now. You know what I mean?
Cool. So Chris Wynn chimes in about you. He says, love Kamdyn's perspective on baseball. He realizes now he's a big fish in a small pond. Humility and hard work, with a little bit of hard work, goes a long way. Will make you a big fish in the biggest pond.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, my man. You got people out here rooting for you. You got people out here watching you, man. Definitely they know who you are. You know what I mean? And not only baseball.
He was also asking what his favorite baseball movie is.
Because it doesn't go all the way through over here. It's not showing me the whole thing for some reason.
So what's your favorite baseball movie?
There
That's
you go.
another question Chris had.
Doesn't pull up on my end. I'm sorry.
I know baseball movies, but I don't know the exact name of some of them. But the one where that kid, I forget the name, but it's the one where that kid just has I think he breaks his arm.
Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, Rookie of the Year.
Oh, that was one of my favorites.
That's,
Going on. We had the Rosenberger, or whatever the dude's name was.
Yeah, that's a pretty good movie. I like that.
That
movie.
was with the dude from American Pie. He was also on American Pie.
Yeah.
He was younger, obviously, in a Rookie of the Year. That was a great movie. I grew up watching that movie. It was pretty inspiring, man. Knowing that you can make it to the big leagues. And, hey, you're a young man that's going to make it to the big leagues. We know it's going to happen soon. But before we let you go, man, you're more than welcome to hang out in the studio. We want to take some pictures with you and Pops after the show. Me and Joel will finish up with some of the topics. But the last question that I have for you, when it's all said and done with your teenage, high school, college years, where does Kamdyn Perry – where would Kamdyn Perry love to play in the pros? Obviously, you get drafted, you go where you go. But if you had a dream landing spot that you would say, I would want to play for this team, throw it out there, what would it be?
I've always been an Angels fan. I'm a big Angels fan. They got their times right now, and hopefully I can make that better. So that'd be pretty nice playing for them.
How do you feel about Detroit, real quick? Chris Wynn says, hopefully my Detroit Tigers pick them up.
I mean, if I get there, I'll play there. I'll do my best, but preferably not.
In the cold, right? In the cold weather.
At least he's being honest.
He'll be gone when that contract's up.
Hey, but Kamdyn, we greatly appreciate you coming in the studio, man, and hanging out with us and giving us some more moments of your time. But look, man, any final thoughts or anything else you want to say? And the one thing I do got to put you on the spot. We asked about the young lady. You got to mention her name. You got to mention your girlfriend's name. Give her a shout out. But then let everyone know where they can find you on all things social media.
Well, you don't have to if you don't want.
I'll say her first name. Her first name's Sophia.
There you go. That's good enough.
She's pretty cool.
Perfect.
You can follow me on Instagram at Kamdyn _ Perry 30, and then I think Twitter's the same. But just one thing I could say is go out there, play hard, do your best, do what you're capable of.
My man, Kamdyn Perry. Watch out for this young man. When I say Bryce Harper, when I say Chris Bryant, when I say Joey Gallo, when I say any of these Las Vegas names, this is the next name that you are going to hear. I guarantee you that. Just wait. Just wait. It's going to be fun to watch this kid on the big stage. So, Kamdyn, you have yourself a great day, my man. We will definitely be talking to you soon. Hang out with us here for a moment, and we'll chop it up soon. But, Joel, I appreciate you, bro.
Hey.
I know you weren't here last week. You're here today.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have to switch it up because Ian's not here to talk about some of the topics, but you're here to talk about something that I want to talk about because I know we have people that are on the show that listen and watch soccer. Primo Eddie's on here. He's a huge soccer guy. The conversations with Messi right now and Barcelona that we're hearing that are arising is that Barcelona is saying that it's in the works that they can bring him back next season, right? We're going from a team that was on the brink of bankruptcy, that couldn't pay anyone, that was letting go guys that they were signing left and right. Some guys didn't even play in El Kun Agüero. Remember, they signed him and had to let him go.
Stars.
And now all of a sudden we have money to sign Messi again. Now all of a sudden we can bring in guys like Lewandowski, which I get it. He was already coming in right when Messi was leaving. I get that. That contract was made. It was set. But I don't know if it's a good move for Messi to go back. Like, the way he left, with the way he spoke about Barca, he gave them respect. But there was also a lot of chatter and side talk about the money. And I would have played here for free. Or remember, he said all that stuff. But yet, they couldn't make it happen. I don't know if I want to see him go back to Barca. Shout out to my guy, Saul. We were talking about it earlier today. He's like, bro, I would love to see him go back to Barca. If I know he's going to retire there, I would rather see him retire there than to have another year like he had at PSG. He already came out and said that he wasn't himself when he was at PSG. That he was going through stuff while he was at PSG, right? So if you're Messi and Barca does come back, right? And they're calling and they're like, hey, the door's open, the red carpet's pulled out, the parade's ready. Let us know when you want to come back. If you're Messi, do you take that leap and jump back in, and do you go to Barca, in your opinion?
Yeah, no, I agree with you for like the main part. Like the way he exited the club wasn't a way that you treat like your best player. I feel like he's the best player that has ever played in the Barcelona jersey. Whether anybody likes it, whatever. He broke. We saw the records he broke.
Yeah.
Debuted at a young age. So when other players, he sees that other players and other players agree with how he left the club wasn't the right way. So when he left to PSG, I feel like that sour taste was still in his mouth. Like, no, like I loved you guys. I did this much. I broke so many records, but that's it. You know, and with PSG, I feel like the language and just him just going to a new country, just a whole new change. He couldn't believe that a club that probably promised more, and they were in the talks to even renew his contract already. To leave the club like that was just, it didn't make any sense. So for me, or in my opinion, for Messi to go back, or I would just call it quits and go to Argentina. Go with a league that he never played in, retire in Newell's or maybe in the MLS and put it behind him. You know,
So-
everybody wants to see Cristiano come back to Real Madrid. Is it gonna happen? No.
Nah.
It's not gonna happen.
Not at all.
So the same thing I feel with Messi's thing. Like, why go back?
If I'm Messi, though, if I'm being honest with you, bro, I don't even go back to Argentina. I understand the whole go back to Old Boys or whatever it was.
Yeah, Newell's.
Newell's, the team he was at. But with all due respect, you're beyond that already. You know what I mean? That's like a player starting with the Las Vegas Lights, making it to Real Madrid, and then at the peak of his career, I'm gonna go back and play for the Lights.
Diego did it though. Diego and
Dieguito's a whole different person.
You know, everyone
with
goes.
all due, pobrecito, he's not here no more.
Romario,
you know what I mean?
everyone goes back to the, Libertadores. Like Ronaldinho came back.
I know,
at
but
his
look
peak.
at Ronaldinho. He kept playing in
won
the
everything.
Mexican League, and he looked worse and worse as he kept playing, bro. Like some guys, you just wish they would have called it quits when they called it quits. Don't get me wrong. It was fun watching Ronaldinho play, even at an old
In
age, because he
Brazil.
still had it. But it's crazy now. Primo Eddie, soccer. This guy's huge Real Madrid.
I'm glad
He always gets on me. He says, they're dumb, no offense. If they take him back, they have a good thing going with these young players, and adding some older players, they don't need him no more. And I agree. If you've already flipped that page, that book is closed. You're moving on from that chapter, right? I understand Lua is a little older vet, but he's still younger than Messi when it comes to what he has left in the tank, right?
Yeah.
And you do have a lot of younger players that you can grow and make and get together and see what you can do there. But Barca's not the same Barca anymore. Move on from that.
Even Piqué and other players,
Bro,
it's time to
go.
renew the whole way of playing.
We see Real Madrid. We know Real Madrid still has Benzema, which has been there for a minute. You know what I mean? Even with Ronaldo and all that. Now Benzema's the guy. Obviously, we know that. And Benzema's been through hell and back, bro. What he went through the French team and all the scandal and the tabloids and all the stuff that happened. It was bad. It was bad, bro. It was completely bad. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It says, guys, Chris says, guys, in about 3 years, Messi will be playing in the MLS. We can see it coming from miles away. I've been saying it for a while.
Yeah.
Go to the MLS. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're Messi, I would rather see you go to the MLS than to see you jump ship and go back to freaking Argentina and play for Newell's.
Libertadores,
bro.
no.
David
1 year,
Beckham did it.
1 year.
David Beckham did it, bro. David Beckham did it.
But I feel, like it's just in history, like all the not even South Americans, but all the greats, they go at least go play. Like Ronaldo came back to Brazil. Ronaldinho came back to Brazil. Riquelme came back to, Tevez came back to Argentina. So it's,
Carlitos Tevez.
remember, Carlitos came back. Like it just seems right, At least 1 year to say, hey, you know what? Messi played professional in the Argentina league.
So
Just 1 year.
Mexico, bro. Mexico. Had a friendly yesterday, right? This wasn't part of the qualifying, just a friendly. But still, friendlies matter because you want to see what your teams look like.
Preparing it.
Exactly. You're preparing. You're showing what you have, who you don't have, who's going to be there when your roster's all said and done, right? 3-2 lost to Colombia yesterday after beating Peru 1-0 in the previous game before that, which you should have in my opinion, murdered Peru. I don't think Peru is as great of a team as people give them credit for.
Yeah.
But again, it's a friendly, not too many people care about those matchups. But Mexico's in trouble, bro. And if I'm being honest with you, the U.S. is in trouble too. Both countries are in trouble when it comes to their soccer clubs right now. Heading into the World Cup, they are in trouble, bro. 100%. Too many people are hyped on Mexico, but I don't see them doing anything at all. They remind me of a team that has a bunch of stars, which a lot of these guys are quote-unquote stars in the Mexican League or wherever they're at, that are trying all to be the guy, that not can play together and al tú por tú, todos juntos, doing what we have to do. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to be the guy. No one can get together and try to play the right way in a team sport. What are you seeing with Mexico, and are they in trouble for you?
Yeah, no, I'll bring up 2 topics. First of all, I feel like I'll bring the U.S. and Mexico.
Go for it.
The issue with our soccer in North America is that we're not going and playing these international tournaments, which we need to. Which we had 10 plus years ago. We had the U.S. and the Mexican clubs, or North American clubs in that case, because we had some Canada teams going.
Yep.
Playing in Libertadores, playing in Sudamericana. We need to be playing Copa America, and in our friendlies, it's cool. We could play against everybody in our region, but in order to get to the next level, we need to be playing against the European teams. Who cares if we're playing against Germany and lose 3-1? That's how you'll get better. U.S. and Mexico have the same amount of stars in Europe, playing in big clubs, and we need to bring that experience to our region and show that when it comes to the world. And we're the next World Cup host, so it's like we're in trouble. And the same thing, and it sucks because as equal as Mexico and the U.S., we've been going in the same process. In 2018, we're having the same issue now. We don't have a starting 11.
Yeah.
Both teams. We have captains Pulisic and we have other. What about the others? Same thing in Mexico. Inconsistency. Yeah, we had Raul going 5. What about now? We don't have a striker. We don't have a starting 11. It's like we switch coaches and same issue, same cycle. So unfortunately, we're not prepared for this tournament. I don't see the North American teams making it that far, to be honest. South America, you saw Colombia beat us. They're not even qualified to the World Cup. But they beat us. So what does that tell you? We're still preparing when the tournament's 2 months. And then I think the U.S. lost, I don't know, they lost to Japan. Come on. We have our levels.
Both teams are
a little bit higher.
Both teams are in trouble, if I'm being honest.
To be honest, we're
and here's the thing. Obviously, we know that
we're in trouble.
We know that the U.S. team and the Mexican team have never won anything. We know that.
Grand, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Your Copa de Oro or whatever, all these small North American tournaments, right? We get that. We totally understand that. But remember, Primo Eddie. But remember, Mexico in the World Cup becomes a different monster, and I'm glad he said that because that's getting to my point.
That's true.
When they're in the World Cup, these are teams that excite. They bring eyes. They bring viewership. They bring people in the seats. So obviously, whether Mexico or United States win the damn World Cup or not, the fact that they're in it, they're always that team that you want to see. As crazy as it sounds, they're always the country that people are looking to see. Mexico more than the U.S. The U.S. has grown in soccer, if we're being honest. I've been watching soccer, I'm going to say since 94, give or take. So the U.S. soccer-wise has grown drastically. Obviously, we know that with the likes of what Donovan has done, what Pulisic has done, what Claudio Reina before them, the other
his
guy
son's
Ken
now
Dempsey,
on the team, like
Josie Altidore, bro, playing in the Mexican League now. I know he's already towards the end, but he's still looking solid there. So the U.S. has produced a lot of talent. They just haven't produced talent that's been able to play together on the big stage. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And it's like we get out of the group stage and that's it. The knockout stages seems hard for the North American teams.
And I agree, bro, because if you look at some of these leagues, like people say, well, the Euro Cup means more, and that's why Ronaldo should be looked upon bigger than Messi because the Copa America is not the same. I agree and disagree. First of all, the Copa America is the oldest cup in all of soccer, older than the World Cup, for people that don't know that. The Copa America is the oldest cup in soccer, period. Now, I understand now the Euro, you got Belgium, France, Italy, England, Portugal. I mean, the list, Netherlands, the list goes on and on.
Powerhouses.
Powerhouses.
Yeah.
As were back in the days, a couple of these were powerhouses. They weren't that big. They weren't that known, right? You even have teams like Poland now and Switzerland that are considered powerhouses in the Euro Cup, right? Croatia, exactly. So I can understand that narrative and that conversation and that argument of it, but they're still both major tournaments because in the northern part of it, or Southern America, South America, all those, some of these clubs that are in there are considered powerhouses, right?
Yeah.
Because they're winning the CONMEBOL and the CONCACAF and all that stuff, and they're making it to the big house. They're making it to the World Cup. So it's give and take when it comes to those tournaments, you know what I mean? But it's going to be interesting, man. I don't see Mexico getting out of the first round. They're in the group with Argentina. That's going to be tough. I don't know where USA is at. I forgot. Unless you have it in the top of your head, what group they're going to be in. I do not remember. But we'll definitely be talking a lot more soccer in the days to come because it's November, right? It's going to be right around the corner, my man. But
Qatar.
Good talk, man. Good stuff there, Quan. Do you have the video by any chance that I sent you of UNLV by any chance? No. Okay, so we do not have the video, but it's all good.
Highlights
though, man.
from last game.
I was in the email. It's all good though.
So
we had our guy Evan Guerra was out there. Last home game that the UNLV Rebels had was at Allegiant Stadium, and they played the University of Northern Texas. 34-24 victory, I believe it was, at home. First home game for them to win. Last home game that they played for them to win, going 2-0 at home. UNLV looks to go undefeated at home this Friday as they take on New Mexico. You see the videos here, highlights from our guy Evan Guerra of Drumline AV and Straight Bet Sports with some videos of the matchup here against Northern Texas. That was a great game to watch, man. If you guys were in attendance and you were there, Doug Brumfield did his thing, running the ball like crazy. This guy's already on watch on some of these awards lists for kids that are going to be considered some of the best quarterbacks in all of college football. Not just in Nevada, not just in the Mountain West, but in all of college football, right? So it's fun to see UNLV, man. They're 3-1 now. Something that I haven't seen since I've been covering this team or even watching this team, right? And it's so fun, man. They are halfway to being bowl eligible. If you know what that means, you win 6 games in college football, it makes you bowl eligible. They got 3 wins already. And the one loss that they had at Cal, there are a few penalties, a few calls, and plays away from winning that game. They didn't even get smoked in that game, and they could be undefeated now. I love what I'm seeing from this team, man. They look like a completely different team, the wide receiving core. On the defensive side of the ball, man, they're stepping it up big time. On the offensive side of the ball, like I said, Doug Brumfield looking so comfortable, so relaxed. Robbins, the kid that we have running the ball back there as well. Kyle Williams, White, the wide receiver, the transfer that they have. I mean, these kids are just playing lights out. Marcus Arroyo has them believing now. You know what I mean? And the fans are actually showing out. They're not filling Allegiant Stadium yet, but you are seeing a lot more people showing support to this team when they're at home. Not only that, they've had people going on the road. They just went on the road and beat the defending Mountain West champions, Utah State. I understand. Utah State is 1-2 now, 1-3. Not the greatest team when it comes to records. And yeah, Chris Wynn says a lot of transfers this year have made a big impact, and you finally seen the influence being felt there. And I agree 100%. The transfer portal is working in the right way. We talk about that all the time. Transfer portal's bad. I don't agree. Coaches can leave whenever they want and pick up and leave contracts and do whatever they please and go to different jobs. I think kids should be able to do so. Granted, some of them are petty. I don't like the coach, or I didn't get playing time, I'm going to dip out. You got to tough it out at times. But if the transfer portal is there, use it. It's working for UNLV. I love it, man. I'm happy to see it. I hope everyone keeps showing out and showing support to this team because they deserve it. They're doing big things, man. I was watching the game on Saturday. Adam Plant Jr., big shout out to him. We've had him on the show a couple years back when he transferred out here to UNLV from TCU. I hit up his dad. I'm like, hey, your son, man, your boy, strip sack, got the fumble. Did you see it? He's like, oh, no, man, send it to me. He was working. Send him the video. And that's cool, man, when you have a local product here trying to make it big. Obviously, he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to make it out in the pros, but it's cool when you can talk to the local talent here and see how excited they are and how excited the family is. Like, his dad posts stuff on the daily. I know he pushes his son a lot, which any son should do, which any father should do. I get that, but man, big shout outs to UNLV. Once again, they host New Mexico here at Allegiant Stadium on Friday, 8 p.m. Myself and Evan Guerra will be in attendance, bringing you guys live videos, photos, all that stuff, man, of the press conferences, pregame, postgame, during the game. We'll be live on the field, so go ahead and check us out with that as well. Golden Knights playing the Colorado Avalanche tonight. Myself and Evan Guerra as well will be in attendance live from T-Mobile Arena. I'm going to try to give you guys some live look-ins there from the post-game media conference. Haven't done that in a while. Preseason game number 3 for the Golden Knights, I believe. Losing their first 2. Not in great fashion, so hopefully they can turn it around and see if they can figure it out here. We got a new coach, Bruce Cassidy, so we'll see how that works now. Third coach here that we've had since this team's existence in the last 6 years. So it's interesting to see where this leads to and how the Golden Knights do. I don't take much from the preseason. You guys know that, not even on the NFL. Obviously, you got to look good, though. You can't look as bad as the Knights have looked, but we'll see how they look tonight. 7 p.m. puck drop at T-Mobile Arena if you guys are in attendance. Have fun. Be smart. If you're drinking, don't drive. Be smart with that. There's a lot of Ubers, a lot of ride shares, a lot of stuff out there. I was at Allegiant for a concert this past weekend for Bad Bunny. A lot of crazy people out there, man. So just be smart. I drank. I didn't drive. I made sure I left my car, did my thing, had a good time. You got to be smart with it, man. Sometimes you can drive, but not all the time. Don't be dumb, man. Be smart. Don't get in an accident. Don't get pulled over. Don't get a DUI. But we're towards the end of the show, man. I know we can't talk much NFL because our guy, Ian, isn't here. But you didn't give us a pick of the week last week. You didn't give us a pick of the week last week because you weren't here. But your pick of the week before hit.
What I tell you?
So you were good.
Yep.
So far you're 1-0 on the year. Our guy Sosa the Locksmith, which was on the show last week, big shout out to him. He said take the Bengals against the Jets, -10.5 alternate point spread, even though they were -5.5. He came through. That hit. He's 1-0 as a celebrity guest here on the show with his picks. Ian and I both 0-1 last week. I had the Giants. Giants look good. Even though they lost that game to the Cowboys, my Super Bowl pick, Cowboys still looking good, 2-1. Defense stepping up huge for the Cowboys right now. I believe they are the best overall defense in the league, unless I read that incorrectly. But when it comes to stats across the board, if you add it up, they are the best defense in the league right now, which is huge for them because they're changing it up and stepping it up on the defensive side of the ball. And the offense looks smooth, man. Even though Dak Prescott is out, they're not looking bad at all. But that was my pick. I had the Giants -1, didn't come through. Ian had the Chiefs -5.5. They lose 20-17 on the road to the Colts as the Colts get their first win. Last-minute drive by Matty Ice, showing why they call him Matty Ice, to drive down there with the Colts to win that game. Dolphins take out the Bills, baby. Sorry, John. I know you're a Bills fan, but that helps me. The Bills can only win 11 games, so them losing helps me out. But I had the Dolphins on that one on my pick. The Dolphins looking scary now. I know it's early. It's 3 weeks in. We are not going to over-exaggerate and overreact because I'm not going to be like everyone else telling you Jalen Hurts is the MVP frontrunner right now. Right next to him is Lamar Jackson. And not only that, the best team in the league is the Philadelphia Eagles. We're 3 weeks in, guys. Last year, the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers were both 3-0 against teams that were combined 0-6. Neither of those teams made the playoffs, nor even won their division, nor even had a winning record. So let's slow it down and pump the brakes before we start anointing anyone. Have the Eagles looked great? I will tip my hat and say that 100%. They are the best team in that division right now, possibly the best team in the NFC. Not going to go as far as say they're the best team in the league because that's kind of taking a stretch there. But they've looked great. Jalen Hurts looks like he's finally figured it out as a starting quarterback in this league, but it's yet to be seen if he can continue that. You still got 14 more games to go, my guy. You've only played 3. Can you make it happen for the remainder of the season? That is the biggest question. Offensive line looks solid. Defensive side of the ball for the Eagles look great. The Bills look good, but Josh Allen should not be throwing the ball 60 times. I'm sorry. I know the guy is your end-all, be-all, but he should also not be running. He is not Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson knows how to move, how to get hit, how to slide, how not to get hit. As where Josh Allen is trying to run you over like a brick wall because he has the size. Josh Allen should not be throwing the ball that many times if the Buffalo Bills want to win more games and actually be considered as a Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. You need to flex in, run that ball a little more, get that run game going to relieve some of the pressure from Josh Allen. Now, if we're going into picks of this week, and the Jaguars won, I said it, the Jaguars are a better team than people give them credit for. I've never been high on the Jaguars, especially last year with the whole debacle with my best friend, Urban Meyer. But I'll tell you this much. That kid, Trevor Lawrence, sunshine. He looks good, bro. He looks really good. He's got a coach in Doug Peterson that is out there doing his thing and is coaching these guys. And He's a quarterback guru. He's good, man. It's working for him. So let's move on and let's get the picks of the week. Don't even want to talk about my Jets because they were just absolutely horrible last week and did not do anything. Now, if I'm going to give you a pick of the week, I'm going to be a homer this week, okay? Call me crazy. Give me the Raiders minus the Quan's like, nope. Give me the Raiders minus 2.5 at home here at Allegiant Stadium against the Denver Broncos. 1:25 p.m. start here on the West Coast. 65% of the money and ATS is on the Raiders, so everyone is jumping on them. A lot of people agree with me. I get it. It's only Wednesday, a lot of time before all the money can still be bet. But that's my pick, my guy. Do you have it up? Do you know who you want? Do you want me to run it down for you real quick? Because we're already at the end of the show.
You know what? I'll go with my gut. Let's go with Pittsburgh.
So you're going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers against my New York Jets.
Yeah.
Ay, Dios mío, this guy. So you got Pittsburgh minus 3 at home with a 1-2 record against the New York Jets.
They need it.
All the money, 67%, is on the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. So there it is. Our pick of the week segment. Give me, unless you want to give us one, Quan, we got Niners. Niners all day. Anyways, man, we've got to the end of the show. My pick of the week this week, like I said, give me the Raiders minus 3.5. I'm sorry, minus 2.5. And Joel has the Steelers at minus 3. For our guest, Kamdyn Perry, our sponsor of the show, Eric Navarro of Line 'em Up by Eric, 702-884-8138. Hit him up on IG, Line 'em Up by Eric, or on the Booksy app. Just search up Eric Navarro. He'll pop right up. Get your appointment set up. Get your haircut. Get your beards lined up. Get ready for that appointment, that date, whatever it may be, man, that job interview. Get ready. He'll hook you up, man. But yeah, man, for our guest, Kamdyn Perry, for my co-host this evening, Joel
Madrazos.
J. Madrazos. For the guy that makes it happen behind the big board every single week, Quan59. We greatly appreciate you guys. Till next week, you have been tuned in to another episode of Straight Bet Sports live here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. We are out. Peace.
Thank you.